which means we're back to doing Thursday after lunch bunches. Yay! Yay! I've missed you guys. So let me have a little coughing fit there. Hang on, gotta get a drink. Not sure what that was. Hey, Karen. Ooh, there we go. All right, am I live yet? Yes, I see my fingers. That's a good thing. All right, so we have, I've got a little sneak peek for you here. This pretty card with its cherry cobbler and Lost Lagoon and pretty peacock is from the new Memorable Blooms set. Now this is something you're going to be able to pick up in January. Hi, Donna. Appreciate you coming. In January, it's in the new mini catalog, and it has a beautiful set of dies with it. It is a cling stamp set, so for those of you who don't care for cling, you'll just have to make do with it, but it has some really nice sentiments in it, so I think you're going to like it. You've Been on My Mind is what we're going to use today, and then you have these beautiful florals. But kind of the essence of this, and I really only used part of it, is this pentagon shape. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. No, that would be an octagon shape. And you can cut out just this frame, which is what I have done today, but you can also cut this detailed floral piece, which would go inside it as part of the framing. So either of those are great, and you have a really cool leaf. So this one is kind of clean and simple, but I can see some not so clean and not so simple cards in my future. Hello, Susan and Barbara and Stormy. Appreciate you guys coming, Debbie and Marva and Suzette. Thank you so much. I am happy to be back. All right. I'm also using a new online exclusive called the Plaster Painting 3D Embossing Folder. And I think you can see that it shows, it actually looks like gesso or oil painting smeared with a palette knife onto canvas. So that is what that is. And then one of my favorites, perennial postage. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. This will all be on my blog tomorrow. I am going to do some cutting and whatnot off screen, but not too awfully much. But that is how we're going to start. So let me grab my goodies here. And we're going to have, I'm going to start with just a 4" by 5 1/4. Did I just say that right? 4" by 5 1/4. Yeah, piece of basic white cardstock. And what I'm going to do off screen here is I am going to, hey Marilyn, hi Cecilia, Nancy, appreciate you being here. My mom is doing well, so that's just kind of how that's going to go. She's going to do well until things change. So we will deal with that when it comes. What we're going to do here is I'm going to cut this octagon out right out of the center, and then I am going to emboss that panel this way in the new 3D folder. Okay, so I'll be right back, and then we'll get going on putting this together. But you kind of need this piece ahead of time because you're going to use it to line up that inside image. All right, let me be sure I'm kind of straight, sort of straight, maybe a little straight. I didn't get any straighter while I was gone. Everything is still crooked. I can't help myself. I seem to be liking to do things crookedy, which is unfortunate. All right, let me get this done. Wayne is out in the kitchen dipping things in chocolate. Every year I make biscotti for my friend in Colorado, and once they're all cooked, we dip them in dark chocolate. And so here's the cut that comes out of the center. You can see how that looks. It makes a very nice kind of an embossed shape right around the frame. Can you see that? Okay, but I'm still gonna do the embossing in the 3D embossing folder just because I like it and I thought it was a nice extra little touch. So that's what I'm doing. If you don't want to do this extra embossing and let that frame really show, obviously you can do that. All right, so this is a 3D embossing folder, which means I am using the number 4 gray plate, the specialty plate. That would be this one right here. So we have just the basic base plate, and then the folder with the cardstock, and then the specialty plate over the top. If you don't have the specialty plate, I highly recommend you getting it, y'all. It's not very expensive, and it just makes your life so much easier. Finn stuck to me like glue for about a day and a half, and now he's decided it's all okay. He can be normal. We did catch him eyeballing the stack of biscottis on the counter yesterday, and in fact, he did actually lift his front feet off of the ground before his dad yelled at him. He was thinking he might have some of that. Might be good, Mom. I think it would be really good. Okay, so you can see what we have. You can actually still see that embossing, but it isn't as pronounced as it was. Now, to make our panel with the memorable blooms, I have a piece of white cardstock. You just need it to be about as big, just a little bit bigger than yes, this card front, and bigger than this hole, okay? And so what you're gonna do is I set the panel over the top, and then I took dipping things in chocolate. Yes, we have all of the things. We are dipping all of the things. You would be a very happy camper, Amy, you really would. I'm just gonna take a pencil, and I'm kind of marking the edges here. And I'm going to erase that later. But this is kind of going to give me an idea of where I want to stamp my image. All right, so you can see I've just lightly outlined that. And now I'm going to take some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. We're going to stamp this big image from Memorable Blooms. Now, you can see I kind of want it angled like this. I want it to cover most of that opening. So we're going to do just like that right there. And that ought to be just about right. And I can kind of tell it. I have to be careful because I'm like the world's worst about making a mess. And I can make that work right there. Okay, so that's good. Let me put a cover on my ink. Don't need to have an ink-tastrophe. Put this away so I don't have another ink-tastrophe. And then I'm just going to take my rubber eraser and erase those lines carefully because I don't want to really rub over that tuxedo black. It's probably not quite dry. So I'm kind of hanging it out. This is the same level of risk as me wearing a white t-shirt. If you've ever wondered why I don't make a lot of white cards, it's because I'm a pig, and I can't keep from getting stuff all over them. It's like, I just can't because I'm a pigger. Okay, so get ready. Now we're going to watch some cement dry, and I am going to color these images. I am using light and dark cherry cobbler Stampin' Blends, the light Lost Lagoon, or sorry, dark Lost Lagoon, and dark, or actually I'm using the light Pretty Peacock here, okay? Actually, we may use both. I'm trying to keep all of my foliage in shades of Pretty Peacock Lost Lagoon, so I'm going to use a couple of different tones of it. I'm going to use I think I'll use the light one, light Pretty Peacock, for these leaves that have the little hash marks on one side. Okay, and you might be going, why in the world are you coloring those little tiny images with the brush tip? And it's because I have better luck with it. I mean, now that I've said that, I'm gonna go and be really outside the lines, but for the most part, I can just barely touch the tip of that brush and be good to go. All right, so I'm trying to find all of the little leaves with the hash marks. Now, one thing I will tell you is I am not looking at comments right now, because if I do, I will color somewhere that is not a leaf, and I don't want to do that. So if you're asking me a question, you may have to ask it again because it may scroll out of where I can see it, okay? See, I almost got a little carried away right there. I almost went a little crazy, just a little crazy. Okay. We're just gonna, I'm trying to find all of these ones right here. I don't know, my brain just wanted all the leaves to be the same kind of leaf. Okay, I think that's good. So then I'm going to use the, whatever this is right here, Lost Lagoon, and it is the dark, and I'm going to color the large leaves with this one. Okay, so all of the large ones, and obviously you could pick whatever colors you wanted. Why am I using these colors, you might ask? Well, because I am using them for a color challenge tomorrow. And sometimes it's fun to do things that feel a little bit outside the realm. But these are very Christmassy colors, and I kind of wanted to prove that you can use Christmassy colors without making a Christmas card. And so I did. There you go. But you know, you actually could use this and this whole thing and just get yourself a Merry Christmas sentiment, and it would be a beautiful Christmas card as well. Maybe not with bees, maybe with something besides bees. But you know, that's just me. You do you. But I thought this was a nice way to let somebody know you've been thinking about them. Now, these all come out on the 7th of January for customers in the new catalog. And that is also the start of Celebration, in which you can earn free goodies. We have, oh gosh, I've totally spaced how many of each, but there's a significant number of things that you can get with a $60 level order, and a smaller number of things too, I believe. The heart-shaped bundle that I used the other day on a card, and a cute little stamp set as well that you can get with a $120 order. There you go. Alrighty, now let's see. I'm going to take my light cherry. Oh, I need to do, wait, I got to do the rest of them. Light Pretty Peacock. We're going to do the little leaves. Okay, now hang tight. Just keep your shirt on. You're like, oh my God, she's really actually going to color all those leaves. Yep, she is. Yep, she is. Now, I don't think I need all of these leaves colored, but I'm going to get out here a little ways because I can always put my template, my card front guide, back on here so that we can make sure I'm coloring as many leaves and flowers as we need to color, but we'll get close. All right, let's see. You guys see any more leaves? Oh, there's a leaf. Right here. Okay. Oh, wait, I better do this one. But I just want to tell you, if you are interested in joining, we do have one heck of a good joining special coming. I want the light cherry cobbler. Now I'm going to color all these flowers with light cherry cobbler. These would also be very pretty in petal pink, or pretty in pink, or daffodil delight, or gosh, I'll bet you could even use fresh freesia and be happy with how that turned out. But it wouldn't have matched my color challenge, so you know, there you go. I bet those were supposed to be leaves. Oh well. We're gonna say that's a petal that just kind of rolled down where it didn't belong. It could happen. If you've ever seen my green thumb, you know it could absolutely happen. Alrighty. Anyway, we have a really good joining special. Once again, you'll get 2 options, both of which are $99, and you get to select $125 worth of free product, including out of the new catalog. And then you can pick one of 2 follow-on options. The first is to pick 2 Color Family Stampin' Write markers packs. So you could pick the Brights marker pack, or the Subtles marker pack, or the Neutrals or the Regals, 2 of those out of the 4. And then we also have a super cute little stamp set that was designed with line art so that you can color those images with your shiny new Stampin' Write markers. So that's $125 worth of product, plus 2 Stampin' Write marker packs in the classic color families, and a stamp set. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is your $125 worth of product, still $99. You get to free shipping with both. And then you get to pick another $30 in product of anything that you want. So 2 options coming up starting on the 7th. Hey, Shirley, appreciate you coming. Yes, exactly. There you go, Rosie. Rosie's got me covered because she knows I'm not paying good attention right now. All right, so now I'm coming back with the dark cherry cobbler and just coloring in where those leaves have curled up. And the Stampin' Up! Designers have helped me with that because they know I can't do it. So they've kind of curled those leaves up, and let me see. Okay, so now let me see if I have not colored nearly enough flowers. You know, it's probably going to end up being like it's going to look a little different each time you do it because every time you stamp the image, it's going to be in a little bit different spot. But that's all right. Let's see, what shall we use? Let's go with light pretty peacock. Here we go. So note to self, just color everything. That means you don't have to go back and do it again. Or worse, think you've gotten it all and then get it all put together and be trying to stick it in there as it is. Okay. All righty then. So I'm using a thick basic white card base, and I'm going to adhere this to the card front with liquid glue, but I want to do it such that even if I have to angle it, so maybe I don't want it straight based on how well I did stamping it and then what I think I want for reals when I put it together. But I kind of like it right like that. So now watch how I'm going to do this. I've got it all lined up. I'm just going to hold this down with my finger. See how it's kind of crookedy? Pick up that card front. Hang tight, wait for it. Hey, Carol, appreciate you coming. And then I'm going to pick it up sort of like this and give it a little bit of liquid glue. That's all you need. You don't have to use liquid glue all the way around. Why? Because this is going to be covered by the card front. Okay, now what I am going to check is when I angled it, have I got anything showing? Maybe. So watch this. It's paper, people. You have paper, you have scissors. Make it do what you want. So we had that initial size, and I'm just gonna cut that right off, just to be sure it's not sticking out. Okay, cut this right off here, just like that. And we're still good to go. So now I'm gonna load this up with dimensionals. If you've got dimensional strips, you could also roll it around here. This would make a great shaker card if you wanted to do that. But I did not. I wanted it to be, I just wanted that beautiful image of the beautiful flowers to just show and stand by themselves. But you do want to be generous with your dimensionals if you're not using strips. Because remember, the cardstock is a little bit thinner now because we've embossed it, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to take all these covers off. Are you guys ready? Do you know that it's 2 weeks from today is Christmas? Just throwing that out there. Today is I don't even know what the day is, but it's the 12th. And I think I just put that we're 15 days away. That doesn't sound right though, does it? 12, 25. Yeah, 15 days. My math is spotty, but 15 days is right. So we're actually like 2 weeks away. So I hope you're ready because it's coming, baby. Okay, so I've got all my dimensionals on. And now I just want to center this. It's 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's going to center just like a regular card front. And make it straight. And there we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead and make our sentiment. And what I'm going to do, if and I can find it, where did my die cut go? Does anybody see it? Does anybody see my die cut? My die cut I have lost again. Didn't I bring it over here to show you? And I said, look at that. That's what you get when you cut it up. There it is. Okay, so you could keep this, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it and then cut it out because it's just cardstock. All right, so we're going to stamp You've Been on My Mind in Pretty Peacock. And then I am going to use this perennial postage die. So it's really the next to the smallest one in the stack. And I'm just going to cut this out. So I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Get it lined up. It's just barely big enough, which is fine. Close enough. Wouldn't be close enough if it wasn't enough. All right. So basically the new saying is close enough. Close only counts in hand grenades, nuclear weapons, and die cutting sentiments. There we go. So there it is. Now, before I adhere that to my card front, thanks Shirley, thanks Beth, appreciate it. Thank you, Sherry. Before I adhere it to my card front, probably I should get the card front, I am going to use what is fast becoming my favorite embellishment, my favorite trim, the gold twisted thread. I just love it. It is so easy to work and so pretty, and it's thin, so that works out. I'm going to use 2 lengths, and I'm going to tie a simple bow like so. And then I'm going to adhere it, and I am adhering it down under the card front. So I'm adhering it to the actual printed section, the stamped part, okay, that's down on the card front. That's going to give me a lot of clearance. Thank you, Carol. So I'm going to use liquid glue. You guys know I'm a liquid glue girl. If you prefer a glue dot, you can for sure do that. But the liquid glue seems to work pretty well. You do have to give it a second to dry, obviously. And then I'm going to take a couple of dimensionals and adhere, just put them right here on the embossed panel. You can see where it's going to go, like that. And then I'll need a couple of, I'll do a double stacked right there, but I'll do it after I've put this on because I can just slide it in with my tweezers. Because I have tweezers and always will. Okay, here we go. So let's see if we can get it kind of straight. Does that look straight? It looks pretty straight. There we go. And then I'll stack a couple of dimensionals. Just to give, it would be fine like this, but this is kind of a little bit unsupported there, and nobody likes an unsupported sentiment. So we're going to help it out, but it needs a double stack. 13 days. See, now you've made it. Now I'm behind. 14 days I was going to be fine. 13 days I am 1000% behind. All right, and I'm just sliding that under that corner with my dimensionals, and there you go. Now we're going to use my next favorite thing. Actually, I can have 2 favorites. This is my favorite trim, and these are my favorite embellishments. Now, you can use glue dots. I would cut them in half because they're so tiny, the bees, not the glue dots, and use those to adhere them. But I'm just telling you, I'm big on, I like the liquid glue. And I did try, I did 4 out of 5 of these with the glue dots, and it made my fat fingers crazy. So I'm going back to my glue. I'm just putting a little dab of liquid. See, about the time I think I'm going to be real cocky, the liquid glue goes, hold my beer, watch this. I'm just putting a little dab of liquid glue where I want my bees, like that. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. Thanks, Elaine. Merry Christmas to you. And then I'm just going to pick up my bees with my tweezers and put them on. Angle them a little bit. I was getting all head up about making these all be on the foliage, but then I was like, bees don't just fly on foliage. They fly in the air everywhere. Hello. All right. You can also use the putty end of your take your pick tool. But it seems to be missing in action, which is not surprising if you could see my craft room. Whew, it is a hot mess. There we go. It's another one. And then I need 2 more. I have already purchased another pack of these because I can tell I'm going to go through them like cray, because I love them and I cannot seem to keep from using them. Soon I'll be putting them on trucks and stuff because I'm just going to want to use them in everything. Okay. So there are my 5 B's and there is my card front. Is that not so pretty? Okay. So now let's go ahead and do our envelope. Now I don't have any DSP on this card, so we're going to do a couple of images, all of which have to be colored. So you are in trouble. This is another little image in the set, and I'm going to use it on my inside liner down in the corner and in the corner of my envelope. And then on the envelope flap, remember, let Tuxedo Black dry. I'm going to use this all leaves image and just stamp it as close to the middle as my Mark 1 eyeball can get it. Okay? And now guess what we're going to do? You got it. We're going to color. We're coloring. All right, let's see if I can go fast, okay? Here we go. So, light cherry cobbler for the big flowers. And we're just going to flood all of that flower with the color. When you are coloring with blends, it will help you if you go up to the line and stop just a little shy. I mean, just like a hair's breadth shy of the line, so that if it does bleed a little, it's less likely to bleed outside of your image. So that means it's helpful sometimes to turn the panel so that you are coming from the inside out as opposed to the outside in. Does that make sense? Did that make sense to you guys? Okay. And then we'll let that set a second and grab our envelope. Remember, when you're using doing it blends on an envelope, you don't want to press very hard. If you're heavy-handed with your blends, put a piece of plastic in there like that you get out of the photopolymer sets. Just slide a piece of plastic in on this end, and that'll protect the back from any stray bleed through. We all know that dimensionals do not bleed through. So never repeat that. And don't say, oh yes, Mary Deathridge from Stamps-N-Lingers told me that dimensionals bleed through. Because no, they don't. But blends do. Oh, watch that. So I'm barely touching it. And I can actually tell by the way the envelope is moving. See what I did there? I went from the outside to the inside instead of from the inside to the outside. And I almost made a mistake. Okay, so there's the light. Now I'll come back with the dark cherry cobbler and get these rolled edges here where the petal has kind of rolled up a little bit. Now, I suppose you could get all het and do some coloring in the center to give some more shading, but I'm just not gonna. I'm just not thinking it's needed. That's a song I made up while I was in Colorado. What do you think? No? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my Dark Lost Lagoon for my leaves. You could use whatever color you wanted. Whichever of those 3 would be just fine. I'm feeling the Lost Lagoon right now. Got a little carried away there. It's all right. Got to be real touchy with this, real light. All right, for multiple reasons. And then we'll do the inside. All right, we're getting it, folks. Hang with me. All right, so what day is Christmas? Is that a Thursday? What day is Christmas? I should know that probably. Yeah, so on Wednesday, the 25th is Christmas. The 26th may not do a video on the 26th. I'll have to see. What do you guys think? Anybody have any preferences? Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. If the 26th is a day that you would prefer to not be trying to pay attention to something, let me know. Because if most people are going to take that day off, I'm gonna do it too. That's okay, Beth. It's all right. I'll be okay. I'm just going to have to step it up a little bit. And I'm going to have to hope that the post office does its thing, or just everybody will just get their gifts late, maybe. Now, yes, these are bleeding through for sure. But, you know, people often rip envelope flaps, so I'm just not getting too head up about that. If that's something that bothers you, you could, in fact, take a piece of basic white cardstock, stamp your image on it and color it, and then put it onto the envelope flap as if it was DSP. So with some liquid glue, and then trim it. But I believe that's just putting a little bit of good effort after bad. Okay? But again, it's your card, and you do you. Okay, so now I'm going to take Light Pretty Peacock, and I'm not going to use that end because it makes me blunt. I'm off that day. You should take it off, Mary. Okay. All right. I'm good with that. I think that's a good idea. I'll probably be in a cooking coma after getting stuff ready for Christmas, so that's a good idea. All right, it's official. No video on the 26th of December. Rosie, help me remember that I said that, because I've already forgotten. All right, and now I'm just barely touching these little guys with the Light Pretty Peacock blend. And then we're gonna be done. One more sprig. Stick with me. I just have to put the inner liner into the card base, and that's it. That'll be that. And this is going to be one of your favorite bundles from the new catalog, I promise, because it is gorgeous. And there's so many fun things to do. Here's our card base. And then we're going to stick this little guy right inside there. There you go, Renee. Every day is off. I think I will sit around and hug Finn. That seems like a good idea. And he is 100% down with that plan. In my younger days, I'd have said, yeah, I'm going out and going shopping for, you know, everything. But no, I will not. I will not be doing that. Y'all enjoy this white on white card, because you aren't going to see it very often, because it scares me. It's a little scary. But look at that. I did it, and I used tuxedo black, and I didn't get anywhere on any parts. There's no smudges. I didn't have to cover anything with an embellishment. Isn't that so pretty though? Oh my goodness. I love this bundle. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you'll be back on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another video. Don't know what we're going to make, but I hope you will love it. And y'all have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for spending part of it with me. Now go get ready for Christmas. Let's do some baking. See ya. Ta.